friends, it's Amanda here, and today we are doing part 2 of my 4-part Best of 2019 series, where I'm sharing all of my favorite products that came out in 2019. These are the best of the best, my favorite formulas, my favorite colors, and I have a ton of cheek products to go through. But before we jump into my favorites, I just want to sort of put out a little bit, not a disclaimer, but just sort of mention that there were tens of thousands of products that came out in 2019. So many of them were really, really great. And I tried a lot of things this year, but there's no possible way that I could try everything. It's very daunting to narrow down my absolute favorite things. If there's something that I don't mention that you love, maybe I didn't try it, or maybe I did review it and give it a positive review and it just didn't quite make the cut for the top of the top products. And similarly, if there's something that I love that you don't, or something you love that I don't mention, just keep in mind that favorites are very personal and different things will work differently depending on your skin type, on your style, what kind of makeup you just prefer. So we're all gonna have different favorites, and I find that really exciting. Of course, I always want you to share your favorites as well down in the comments, but these are my favorites. I'm gonna show you swatches of all of these products as we go through. And I did do individual reviews on a lot of these products, so I will link all of those videos down below. If you want more information on a specific product, just check down in the description box and there might be a whole video for you. So let's jump into my favorite cheek palettes. I'm starting with a drugstore option. This one comes from Sleek Makeup. This is the Love Shook palette. I know that I raved about this a lot this year, and I feel like nobody really talked about this, but I absolutely love this little palette. It's interesting yet wearable. The formula is so smooth. It's just the right balance of shiny. There's a little bit of glitteriness to it, but I don't get any fallout. I can see these shades working for a wide range of skin tones and makeup styles. I just think this was such a versatile, affordable, lovely little palette. Now we're gonna switch gears into some bigger and more expensive palettes. The first is from NARS. I love NARS cheek palettes so much. They always make their way into my favorites. The value is incredible. The design is just beautiful and luxurious. This is the Exposed cheek palette. I believe this was part of their spring release in 2019. This is by far my favorite cheek palette that NARS released, and I did like quite a few of them. But this palette just has everything that I'm looking for. Not only is it beautifully designed, the powders are so buildable, they're so silky. You can really get a soft flush look. You could get a really, really dramatic look. I find myself using all of these powders. The highlighter is just stunning. It's soft, but it's metallic at the same time. I like mixing these shades. That's often how I used this palette, was blending together 2 or 3 different blushes. Everything about this palette hit the right notes for me, and the value is insane on these palettes too. If you're gonna buy a cheek product from NARS, make it a palette because the value is always off the charts. Lastly, for the cheek palettes, this will be no surprise if you've watched any of my recent videos. This is from Hourglass. It's part of their holiday collection. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit Ghost Unlocked. Really long name for a really great little palette. I have used at least one of these powders, usually all of them, pretty much every single day since I got this palette. Recently I went on a trip and the only face powders I took were this and one other single highlighter, which we'll talk about later. Usually I struggle to use all the powders in a palette, and this basically has everything I need. I use this first one to set my whole face. I am wearing that today. Then I mix these two together for my bronzer, also wearing those today. Then I'll use one or a mixture of these blushes and then the highlighter. This has just been such an easy go-to product for me. This is quite expensive, but I really feel like I'm getting my money's worth. I feel like my makeup looks great every time I use this. It's so easy, it's so pretty, such a good palette. Quickly made its way into my 2019 favorites. As a transition between my favorite face palettes and my favorite individual products, I want to mention two new formulas, just complete lines that came out this year. They're both cream products. Both got great reviews from me, and overall just lines that I've genuinely enjoyed, but I am going to share my favorite shades with you. First, from Salt New York, the Cream Tint Pro formula. I did pick up one of the bundles from Salt New York, so I've only tried 4 shades. There are 18 different shades available. So I have the Radiant shade in beige, then I have the light bronzer, and I have 2 lip and cheek tints in rose and raspberry. And I love them and I want more for sure. So easy, so gorgeous. I can't get over the fact that I was so intimidated by using a cream product like this, and it was easy from the first application. These layer beautifully, they wear beautifully. I could wear these on their own or with a super toned down makeup look, or I can wear them with like a full beat. I could use them in combination with powder products. There's just nothing bad to say about these. I love this company, love this formula. Absolutely one of the best releases of 2019. I love the Colourpop blush and light sticks for a lot of the same reasons that I like the Salt New York Cream Tint Pro formula. These are in a different format, so there's only blush and highlighters. There's no bronzer or contour shades in these. Instead of being in a pan or compact, these are in a twist up format. I still use these the same way that I use the Cream Tint Pro, so I don't just put these straight onto my face, though you could do that. I just like to warm them up on my fingertip. I do have a dedicated video about these, so if you want to see how I use the blush and light sticks, make sure you check that video out. I've enjoyed using these and mixing them. There are tons of different colors. There's definitely something for every single skin tone. I'm just going to show you some of my favorite shades in a swatch on my arm here. These are the ones that stood out to me when I was going through the entire collection looking for my favorites. Some of these I already had pulled out, separated, so I knew that those were the ones I was using over and over again. I really hope that we continue to see more shades of these. I would love to see a bronzer and contour line added to this. This is one of Colourpop's most innovative formulas yet, and definitely a great release this past year. Now we're getting down to the individual compacts. I'm gonna just go through them in the order that I apply them. So bronzer, blush, and then highlighter. I do have 2 bronzers I want to speak about. One is a drugstore option and one is a high-end option. You can tell that this one has been through the ringer with me because the whole label is starting to wear off. I tried really hard to just use this corner because it has such a pretty leaf print, but it's starting to get ruined because I've used it so much. So that's a sign of a favorite. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in the shade Sunset Striptease. I also have the shade Ticket to Brazil, but I do prefer this just for my personal skin tone. There are quite a few shades in this line, so I'm sure that you could find something that would work well for you. But this one is my favorite. I love the subtle glow. This applies like a high-end powder. I think it looks so beautiful. I was wearing this bronzer in my part 1 of the best of 2019, and this was one of my favorite drugstore releases overall. Switching gears over to this Jouer bronzer. This is actually a duo. When I use this, I do mix the 2 shades together, but I think the powders individually are quite beautiful as well. This is the Sunswept bronzer duo. I have the light to medium. There's also a deeper option. No surprise that I really enjoyed this formula. I loved the little blush duos that they made like this the previous year, and the bronzer definitely didn't disappoint. It's everything you would expect from a Jouer powder. It's really light and soft, very buildable, has a great wear time on the skin, and this looks so natural on my face. So those are my top individual bronzers. All right, now let's talk about blush. Again, I have an affordable option and a more high-end option. No one's surprised to see this much Colourpop in my favorites, right? Because you really shouldn't be. You may be surprised by how few of their palettes are in my favorites, but that is a different video. Now, the Super Shock formula is not something that's new, but this shade in particular was a favorite for me, and this is a new product. It's from their fall collection. This is the Super Shock blush in the shade over dramatic. I'm such a fan of the Super Shock formula, and I just kept gravitating towards this particular shade, so I felt like I had to mention it in this video. The other blush that I want to talk about is this one from Cover FX. This was such a sleeper for me. I never really talked about this on my channel. It was just something that I would kind of low-key use all the time throughout the year, but I was never so dedicated to it that it became a monthly favorite. It was just sort of always there, a stable go-to in the background for me. I have the shade Warm Honey. The pigmentation, first of all, on these products is insane. Just aside from the color being really, really beautiful, I love the versatility of this blush duo. I could use either one of these separately as my blush, or mix them together. Sometimes I would just wear the blush. Sometimes I would just use this shimmery shade as sort of like a highlighter or a blush topper. And this is so pigmented that I barely had to touch my brush in here. Not a lot of powder kick up. Not to mention these pans are huge. I feel like I got a really great bang for my buck with this product. And I kind of feel bad that it never really worked its way up to a monthly favorites, but it stood the test of time and made it to my yearly favorites, so that's something. Good job, Cover FX. Now, for my favorite part, probably your favorite part too, highlighters. I have 3 individual highlighters that I want to talk about. 2 of them are from Colourpop, and both of my Colourpop picks are from different Disney collections. Let's just go in chronological order. This is from the Disney Villains collection. It's the Maleficent highlighter, but it's called Mistress of All Evil. This highlight rocked my world. It is so intense, so beautiful. Everything is on point. The packaging is amazing. The formula is gorgeous. This is a Super Shock highlighter in a little compact. This launched at the beginning of the year. I'm pretty sure this came out in the spring, like March, April timeframe. This Super Shock is just as creamy and delicious now as it was months ago. No signs of drying up. It has stayed super buttery and just bright and metallic. This is so in your face, but in the best possible way. Also, can we take a second? The outer packaging, like the carton, is also super beautiful in a different way that doesn't clash, but it's just, this collection really killed it. In the same family, but on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we had an evil mistress villain, and now we have one of the most dainty, lovely princesses. This is from the Disney designer Midnight Masquerade collection. It's the Cinderella highlighter, but it's called Horse and Carriage. Another one that I have talked endlessly about, just absolutely loved using. This one is a powder formula instead of a Super Shock. This one's also lighter, more of a bright icy, whereas Mistress of All Evil had kind of a beiginess to it. This is not only one of my favorite highlighters of 2019, it's probably one of my favorite highlighters ever. Definitely one of my favorite Colourpop products ever. And I don't have anything against Cinderella, but absolutely none of this is biased towards the packaging because Cinderella's not my favorite princess. Probably not even by a long shot, no offense. Cindy, girl. It's purely just because I freaking love this highlighter so much. I mean, the packaging is beautiful, stunning. It's just, I don't like this because I like Cinderella. I like it because it's a bomb highlighter. Now for the last product for this video, and probably the best highlighter of 2019. It's from Benefit. It's the Cookie highlighter. Oh my gosh, I love this highlighter so much. Earlier when I said I was traveling and I just took the Hourglass palette and one highlighter, it was this one. Even though this packaging is so bulky and it took up way more space than it needed to, and I probably could have traveled more easily with this one, I just am kind of addicted to wearing this highlighter. I'm definitely wearing it today. I don't know what it is. It's the perfect shade. It's the perfect texture. It's not so soft that it's falling all over the place in the pan. It's just silky and smooth. I'm wearing it very lightly today, and I feel like I have a super beautiful, definitely there, but more subtle glow. But if I layer this up, I can make this glow crazy. See You from Space. I am gonna do that because I want to, because it's fun. So let me grab my highlighting brush and you can just see this in action. I mean, so that's 2 layers. This is the more like subtle side, and that's with it layered up. See what I'm saying? Well, now I gotta even it out. Oh, it's so pretty. I think that applying highlighter is really fun anyway, but this is actually a joy to apply. I've been kind of sleeping on Benefit. They haven't really done too much to excite me lately, and I'm excited. I'm excited by this, if you can't tell. Whew, okay, another one in the books. We are now officially halfway through my series. If you haven't already seen it, go check out part 1. That's where I talked about all of the basics. So foundation, concealer, primer, setting spray, tools, mascara, nail polish, all that stuff was in part 1. Make sure you check that out. Next up in part 3 will be my favorite lip products, and then the grand finale will be my top palettes of 2019. It's going to be a doozy of a list. So keep an eye out for those. Make sure you tell us what your favorite products were this year. I always love to hear your opinions. I love taking your product recommendations. I get so many great recommendations from you guys. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. So, wait. For what was that even gonna be? I just want to talk about, I don't know what I'm saying. A quick little, is this thing on? Hello? I'm fine. New York Cream Tint but I do think this, why can't I talk? This is one of Colourpop's most innovated blush, bronzer, bronzer. Nailed it. This is the super shock every single time. I love the versatility. Do you guys like this eye look? Just a little purple and gold halo eye, no big deal. Excuse you. This is not only one of my favorite I'm gonna need you to use your words. And doing great. Totally behaving like an adult. It's fine. Okay, school is closing early today, so we don't have time to mess around. I gotta go edit so I can get some videos out for you. Because you know what? It's a new year. It's a new decade. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I would put out videos no matter what the date is. Anyway, so insightful. Yeah, bye. Okay, fine.